Hello, this is Tanner with Bulldog Rooter. I'm out here on job number 805-26132. Got called out here for a mainline backup. We were out here April 15th, 2021 for the exact same issue. We also went through the backwater valve at that time. I went ahead and I watched that inspection before I got here because the permit did not actually indicate what type of pipe it was. The permit indicated it was from 1953, so I was a bit worried about Orangeburg. However, I see that as a full concrete connection. So we're going to go ahead and pull back. We're sitting currently at 97 feet and 8 inches. That is the exact length of my camera. I cannot push this any further. However, we can see the main tie-in right there. Not a big deal. Line consists of 4-inch concrete, ties into a 6-inch city main. A couple loose roots just for cabling. There's only one root intrusion on this line that I could find. There were a couple spots that almost looked like there were very, very tiny roots starting to come in, but that may have just been debris. It's hard to tell, even with a clear picture like this. Actually, the more I'm looking at it, it would have been right around this area. I believe it may have just been debris. Customer is going to be using a third-party foaming root killer after this to attempt to kill what is left of the roots and try to mitigate growth for as long as possible. This line would be a great candidate for lining. We did discuss lining options about 3 years ago. The customer was not interested at that time. If they change their mind, we are always available. It's always a free estimate for us to come over, double-check everything. Look, I take it back. So we do have a little bit of root intrusion coming back here, right at the 47-foot mark. Starting to come in. I definitely recommend the root. I call it Root X because that's the brand we use, but definitely recommend the foaming root killer. Try to nip this section in the bud as soon as possible before it becomes more of an issue. That is the loose root ball from when we were cabling. We actually used the 2-inch retrieval bit because of the backwater valve. That was the biggest thing that I could send to get it cracked open and to rip apart as much as possible. Then we found out that the 3-inch clean out right next to it actually bypasses that backwater valve, so we went ahead and sent the 3-inch cutter down there and cut it as flush as we possibly could. Here we're at 27 feet. This is the root intrusion right there. Still covering probably 10 to 15% of the right side of the pipe. Again, recommend that foaming root killer. That should help tremendously. You have a little bit of an offset right here. I believe this is it's the transition from cast iron to concrete. I believe based on this is actually the end of your building drain, about 2 feet after it comes out of the building, and then about 1.5 feet later is where you have your root intrusion. So that could also just be dug up and have that corrected. Well, that might be a good place to dig up, maybe potentially put a clean out and then line if you're interested in the future. Anyway, I'm going to keep pulling back. Looks like there's a tie-in for a downstairs bathroom. There's that tie-in for the floor drain. Transition to ABS here very shortly. And here we transition to ABS. You can see this is a Y. The other side of that Y it goes up to that clean out, and that goes to the stack to the rest of the house. And we're going to pull out. This is where the work was initially performed through the backwater valve, and this is where the final work was performed. Thank you for choosing Bulldog Rooter.